morning, everyone. Cheers to all you having your morning coffee. Of course, if you're watching this, maybe sometimes, uh, maybe it's not even morning anymore. Maybe you're on your lunch break. Maybe, it's evening. Maybe you are, watching this 2, 3 days from now, or maybe you stumble upon it, a couple days, years, weeks, whatever. I don't know how long all this stuff stays in the internet for, but good to be with you all on a Monday, September 19th. Not going to do a whole lot of after action review today. We've got a lot of things going on at Family of God that Pastor Hill and I both need to prepare for, but I did want to just share a couple of things that happened this weekend in our after action review today. So it was a big weekend for I guess personally. I'll post a picture. Post a picture right here. This is me having the opportunity to baptize my sister's son Beckham. And Shelby had Beckham back in July, and we were able to baptize him yesterday, and that was one of the greatest joys of my life. It was a great experience. He was such a well-behaved kid, and actually, when like right after we had poured the water, he kind of squirmed a little bit like this, and then by the time that it came to go back to your seats and sit down for the closing of the service, he was already asleep. So that's all you can ask for from your son. So it was great to spend that day yesterday with my family, spend the morning with my family, and with Michael, my sister's husband's family, and just being able to celebrate the gift of life in that God gives to us in baptism. And I'll post a link at the end of the video here on the Facebook page and on the website if you want to go and watch that. I gave a sermon leading up to that, and the baptism was kind of incorporated into the sermon, and so. Just a great day overall. Baptism. I know I've said this before, and if you know anything about me, you know that baptism might possibly be my favorite thing in the world. It's just a beautiful, beautiful gift that God gives to us in order that we might be blessed, in order that we would have forgiveness, in order that we would have life eternal, in order that we would have all that. So you can go listen to that. I'd encourage you to be reminded of your baptism, and go in with God's peace, knowing that the world is going to try to shape your identity. The world is going to demand, and the world is going to do all kinds of crazy things and tell you that who you are depends on what you do, what you look like, where you stand politically, and all this other stuff. And what the reality is that your identity is rooted in nothing but Christ alone. And so I really encourage you, if you get the opportunity, to go listen to that. I'll post that link here. We had a great day at Family of God yesterday too. Pastor Tim and Deacon Paul had a great day in the park. They said that they had about 10 guys and gals, a couple of new faces coming to the park, and of course they celebrated the Lord's Supper with those that they knew or that they've been catechizing for months, and just a great thing to be a part of that ministry, and people that's continuing to grow. It's continuing to take on a shape of itself, and so that they were both really excited when they came back to church yesterday, and so that was great. Pastor Hill was at St. Stephen, had a great day at St. Stephen, and then of course we were at Family of God on the main site yesterday, and we had a good turnout for church. Pastor Hill gave a really great sermon on a very complicated text. This was the parable of the shrewd manager. If you recall, I don't have my Bible in front of me. I'm kind of unprepared this morning, a little frazzled by all the things that I got going on today. But the story is there's a manager, there's his debtors, and his master is angry with him because he hasn't collected the debts yet, and so he wants to go and he asks the debtors to cut their debts in half, and then the manager the master commends the shrewd manager for what he does in order to cut those debts in half. It's a very odd parable, but at the end of the day, which is kind of where Pastor Hill focused his message, especially for us at Family of God, was that you cannot serve both God and money, and that at the very end of that gospel text yesterday, it talks about anything that's of the world, anything that's of man, anything that is you are putting that's not of God is an abomination to God, and just essentially meaning when we put our kind of bringing this all the way back to our identities, right, and our baptismal identities, anything that we have, anything that we put our faith and trust in, number one, that's idolatry. But number two, that's not where God desires to do that, or God desires of us to do. He desires to have all of us. And so much so that he comes and gets us in the waters of baptism. And so that was just a great reminder for me. Pastor Hill brought up something that I didn't even think about when Jesus is telling this parable. First of all, it's kind of sandwiched between the parable of the prodigal son, and it's caught in the middle of Lazarus and the rich man, which we're going to hear next week. And so it actually could intentionally be given directly towards Judas, because if you jump to John chapter, I believe it's John chapter 12, you hear that Judas is the keeper of the money bag, and Judas would take things for himself. And so it's a parable that Jesus could have been telling directly to Judas. And so just an interesting kind of a story there. I'm sure that we're going to be talking about that kind of throughout the week this week, because that parable in Luke 16 of the shrewd manager, definitely one of the hardest ones to interpret. But at the end of the day, cannot serve both God and money. Your identity is in Christ Jesus and the things of God. And so remember that today. Again, I'd encourage you to go watch the sermon on my sermon on your baptismal identity. And again, that was just a joy for us. We're really looking forward to all the things that are happening this week. I actually have the opportunity to preach at Concordia tomorrow, Lutheran High Westland on Saturday. I mean, on Thursday. And then I get to lead a Bible study at St. John in Rochester, where my wife teaches, on Saturday morning. So all different kinds of things. Of course, we have our regular Christ our Savior Bible study on Wednesday, and then all of our regular activities at Family of God. I believe Deacon John's showing a movie on Thursday. We have worship on Wednesday as well. And you throw in the kitchen sink and call it a week. So great to be with you all again today. Please, if you have prayer requests, let us know, and we'll do our very best to get back to you. I've been communicating back and forth with some folks through the website, or through the Facebook Messenger, and it's very odd. People send a message, I get an automatic response that says, "Thank you, we've seen your text," and then I don't always get those. So I've been checking, because the automatic response then takes away the. I don't know why my computer is doing that either. It's Monday, guys. I don't know what's happening. Fuzz is falling from the sky. I'm just going to get out of here. Go with God's peace today. If no one has told you yet, he loves you, and so do we. Have a great week. We'll chat soon. Bye.